Hello, everyone. Sorry about the delay. I was having technical problems again because apparently my computer says technical issues every 5 seconds. Hi to everybody for being here first. A bunch of you were here first, so thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That should all be good. I think I should be able to see everyone's chats now. There they come. Well, that comes through. Phantom, I feel like I keep calling you out over on Twitch. Phantom is on a 4-month subscription streak. Thank you for that. Are we typing in the tube chat? And I'm not seeing it. Yes. Cool. I mean, I am fixing everything, but I think you mean technologically inclined. Let me test it here too. That is not working on the other one. Okay. Why is that one not working? Shows that both should be working. That's annoying. Can I cancel these? Stop. Let's try that again. David G. Now it's working. Okay. Let's see. Is it working with the other one too? Adding random stuff. Yep. Okay. It's working. All right. Listen, technology is dumb. All right. Technology is dumb. Oh, you guys will always be able to hear him in the background because he projects his voice really well. Voice projection, you would almost think that he had done like speech and debate, or well, maybe he did. I don't really know if I'm being honest. But like drama, because they teach you that too in drama. Raul, he might. He might. Oh, I didn't want to hit that button yet. Oh, let's get that. Da 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 da. Oh, they're always doing way too much, Lainey. I missed a lot of it because I was trying to help someone else with technical difficulties. So there is that part. Oh, mercy. All right. And we are up, running everywhere. Heck yeah. Wait, why is that? Hello? Oh, that makes sense. I'm over here like, why did my mouse get caught? That makes sense. It's just Ari. The 0 is not required. Hey, Dolphin. Hey, Bruce. Yes, I did end up getting live. Oh, I'm sorry. I said I was going to tell you guys in the Discord. And I didn't even think about it because I was getting on to tell you that I was getting on. Well, I'm on. I'm live. We're here. We're operating. We're running. I need to adjust the camera again. Feisty. All right, guys. Feisty starting us off with 10 gifted memberships. If you received a gifted membership from Feisty, be sure to say thank you to Feisty. Be sure to tell Feisty thank you. Thank you so much for helping grow the community. I do appreciate that a lot. I'm just not as funny as Polly, I guess, that I don't get as many gifted memberships as he does, and fine, totally fine. But I guess it's just because I'm not as funny. And then TikTok's already being silly stuff. Come hide in here for a bit. What are you hiding from, Moose? What are you hiding from? Oh, you're fine if you have any typos. I was like, what are words? Wow. That just went all wonky. Oh, mercy. Wait, what? Ari, read this and tell Polly to twitch it up. Oh, I'll let him know, Potato. Listen, I am admittedly not very funny, okay? I'm going to say it this way, and here's why. I basically do dad jokes, right? Like, I can admit that 100% is that I do a bunch of dumb dad jokes or very niche jokes that people don't understand. And I do mean literally niche, right? Because how many people actually know who makes Tide products? Like, who actually knows who produces Tide? Without Googling it, I'm genuinely curious. How many people actually know who produces Tide? I saw Ramon. Yeah, a lot of people don't know. So there's been plenty of so my thing is now every time somebody uses the word Tide in a sentence and they're not, yeah, see, there we go. You got it, Justin. Uses Tide in a sentence, especially when it's the caller, right? I will literally say, like, what does Procter and Gamble have anything to do with this? And most people are just like, what are you talking about? Because nobody, again, it's a very niche piece of knowledge, right? It's not common knowledge because a lot of people don't look at that stuff, right? So that's my kind of silly humor. All right. That's literally my kind of silly humor. It doesn't go much, right? It doesn't go very far because most people don't know it. But like I've done it twice and the other person just is confused every time. Uh so it's just something I do. Yeah, Nestle is a little bit funny. So I'm just saying, like, I have a very it's just a very specific level of humor that people don't understand, and I get it. It is I can't change it. I don't know how to change it. I truly do not. Like, I don't. It's not a joke that I put effort into it. L. That's very funny that you thought I put effort into it just because I'm sharing something with you. No, the first time I did it on an absolute whim, and other people understood it, but the individual that said Ty didn't get it and was upset that he was told by the person I was hanging out with that you didn't know that he didn't know who made Tide. Oh, I also do some dark sense of humor as well. That is true. If you're green, you're a member. That is true, Joey. But you can also be a mod and a member, and then you're just blue with the little mermaid Ari symbol. So the one that pops up on the screen when somebody becomes a member. Thank you so much. Is this the gifted subs just coming through? I think it is. I think there was a miscommunication last night. Sorry, Heart Sean. Okay. No worries, Sean. I appreciate the 5. I do appreciate that so much. Yami has reached a 40 stream watch streak. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. It's literally, I just have a very odd subset of humor. And then when somebody tells me a joke, it misses the mark like every time. Every time a joke misses the mark. It's just kind of how, yeah. We'll just put it like that. It's my flavor of neurospicy, and a lot of people don't seem to be able to handle that. So that is how that goes.
Awesome.
What's this? What's this? Oh, that's just coming through late because of that. Makes sense. All right. Well, TikTok, you guys know the drill. You guys got to get to tapping that screen before we can open up the phone lines. So get to tippy tapping for me and we'll open up and start taking in callers. If we can go ahead and complete this live goal over on TikTok. Don't forget to share out the live over on TikTok, the tubes, and on Twitch. Share it out to people that you think might want to come in and watch. Whatever, however you want to float your boat in that regard. And don't forget to follow or hit that subscribe button if you are new. And then we have bits, gifts, super fans, super chats, memberships, a bunch of things all available for your use. All right. It is the best and easiest way to support me. And then, of course, we have our direct pay links as well. All right. There we go. I had to make sure that did not. Ah. And I will just let everybody know, if you haven't already heard, that ICE officers shot 2 people in Portland today when we're still waiting on details. So that's all I can share, is that a shooting occurred again. Don't know why, don't know the details, don't know the surrounding anything. So just it happened about 30 minutes ago now. Is about when it was put out. It is reported on their local news. All right. It's a sad last couple of days. It's a sad last couple of days. Oh, man. It's definitely very interesting. I think it's more interesting for me to just hear Polly through my headphones as I'm sitting here. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yep.
Awesome. How old are you?
28.
28. Are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. And what has Donald Trump done in his first 12 months back in office that has earned your continued support?
I would say I'm the biggest fan of his foreign policy generally.
Okay. Specifically what?
Well, the idea that, you know, America has a role to play in the world. I think for a long time, a lot of Americans have Iraq syndrome, where every single intervention is framed as it's going to be a forever war. And if you look at the last 2 interventions, they were single operations. And so I think that the Iraq syndrome that is still at play is really, there's really no reason for it, because it's been over 20 years since we've started a forever war, and that's really not something that's part of Trump's policy. He's always spoken out against that.
Actually, he specifically spoke out about being the world's police.
Yeah, being the world's police is not the same as sending hundreds, thousands of troops into you know, and to place them there long term. That's not the same as being the
Okay.
world's police.
Right. And you specifically said forever war. And then I may have missed the way that you specifically phrased the last 2, you said interventions?
Yeah, we can call them interventions.
No, is that what you said?
Operation. I think I did say intervention, but I like the word operation better. Yeah.
Operation. So is conducting a foreign operation, would you say, especially when you're using it in conjunction with forever war and the Iraq war and the Iraq syndrome, as you specifically called it, are those wars?
Or what wars?
The
The
two
operation?
operations that you're
N-
referring to,
Not in the traditional sense. Certainly not. No,
not in the
we're
traditional
not trying to.
sense.
Trump was not trying to conquer Iran or Venezuela.
I'm sorry. Is the idea of conquering required in order for a war to occur?
Well, no, not necessarily, but I would say traditionally that's what's understood as,
Who
often
are we
as
trying
war
to
in traditional.
conquer in World War II, and what additional land did we gain from World War II?
Fair enough. I wouldn't say conquer. I would say utterly defeat is not necessarily the aim. Like the intervention or the operation in Iran was not aimed at taking down the
Utterly
regime. It was
defeat. Okay. Well, then we absolutely failed in Vietnam.
fair enough. I don't know what that has to do with Trump.
Well, no, I'm just trying to pin down what are you referring to as a war. And so far, it sounds like you're not able to specify how the wars that have already previously occurred even fit what you're talking about, or how we are adding descriptive terms
I'm
to
not sure why
war.
we're focusing so hard on what the definition of war is.
Sure,
I'm just saying that I
sure,
supported the foreign policy because of the way that he conducts these operations,
sure.
as opposed
Here's my
to,
point, right?
go
And
ahead.
that's fine. You're good. I'll go ahead and make my point with this. Donald Trump specifically campaigned on no new wars, and even he intervened in what was he personally also called a 12-day war between Israel and Iran, and that's part of the problem
Well, one second. If the war was between Israel and Iran,
that
then
we intervened
that was
in.
not a. Yes, we intervened
Yeah,
in because it was in our
we
interest.
literally
We didn't
stuck our
start a
noses in it.
war.
Oh, no, I'm not saying no. Sorry. He didn't say that he was starting wars, right? Because if that's the case, please tell me how Donald Trump blames Joe Biden for Israel Palestine, and then also for Russia and Ukraine, when all that happened was Putin invaded, and then October 7th occurred and Israel responded, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's a question of why did October 7th happen in
Oh no, we're not digging
2023?
far into that. I'm just making a point. These two
Well,
wars
you're
occurred. Let
glossing
me
over a
make
very
it.
important
No, let
piece
me
of
make it.
that.
No, sir. Like if you want to go back, like both of these wars have been a long time coming, especially for Russia, Ukraine. The tensions have been ongoing since the USSR dissolved, and then that Russia was required to sign the Budapest Memorandum. So it's been
That
ongoing
is
for
true.
30 years, right? And then
Right.
we
It's a
know
question
that,
of
and
why
then
does
we
it
know
start at
that,
the time
and
that it
then we
starts?
know that Israel and Gaza have been going on since the British left that area and then basically named
The
it
British
Israel,
were
right?
never in Gaza. The Egyptians were in Gaza.
Oh my God. The British literally used to own that land. Are you
Yes.
okay? They they
Gaza was
they
not
helped
part of
colonize.
mandatory Palestine. It was part of Egypt.
Yeah, the British were there. Again,
The
the
British were
British
in
were
Egypt.
there. Yes, they were in that area.
They were in that area. Do you know
Yes,
the
they
area
were
well?
in that area where Yisrael is today,
Why are you saying Yisrael?
because that's actually how it's pronounced.
It's actually not. I've actually lived there. It's not
I'm
how you
sure you
pronounce
haven't.
it. You're sure I haven't? Okay, very nice.
Yeah, well, sorry, sir. You keep interrupting me and you don't even seem to know that literally the British were in
I'm well aware
that
that the British
area.
mandated
Yeah,
Palestine
and then they left,
after the
right?
Ottoman
And then they
Empire
left
collapsed.
the area, and they're the ones
That's
that
correct.
said that they were acknowledging it as a state, right? Okay, cool. So if you want to go down that road, like I'm using the same logic that Donald Trump used, right, to blame these wars that occurred just because Biden was.
agreeing with
Let me finish. Perhaps you would
You're batting
understand.
down
Perhaps you
strawman.
would understand what point I was trying to make if during this last 4 minutes you hadn't interrupted me every 3 words.
Because you're creating strawman.
Okay.
That's
I'm
not my
not
actual
creating a
position.
straw man. I'm explaining my position. I'm not talking about your position right now.
Then
Never
why did you
once.
ask me about
Okay.
my
You're muted now. So here's what I've already asked about your position. I'm not even stating your position anymore. I'm literally making a point. Cool. All right. So here's what I'm trying to explain. Donald Trump campaigned on no new wars during his campaign. And this means like no new wars occurring. This was going to be a peaceful term. Not that he was going to start wars, right? He literally campaigned that there were going to be no new wars occurring while he is president. And then during his campaign, he personally blamed Biden for Russia, Ukraine, Biden for Israel and Palestine for occurring just because he was the seated president, right? That he literally blamed him for just being the seated president. So, using Donald Trump's own logic, he is directly responsible for Israel bombing Iran, right? And not only is he directly responsible by his own logic, but he's also by his own words, because a lot of people seem to forget that when this first started, right, because he didn't want to be left out, Donald Trump literally took credit for the plan that Bibi Netanyahu implemented in order to do the first strike on Iran, right, where they killed a bunch of people, right? He literally took credit and then he intervened. So we most certainly were engaged in a war during that 12 days. And again, I am not saying, for all the dum-dums in the chat that are like, what war did he start? I didn't say he started a war, but by his own logic, while he was on the campaign trail, he is directly responsible for that 12-day war occurring. And again, not only is he directly responsible by his own logic, but by his own words that came out of his mouth after it occurred, where he said that he helped Bibi Netanyahu come up with the plan that then was instituted.
Are you ready to let me speak at some point?
I don't know. You actually did decent for once and didn't interrupt me. That was, well, actually, no, you did. You did actually interrupt me several times. Just no one else could hear you interrupt me, and I just acted like you didn't exist, and I just kept making my statement.
I mean, you're not really letting me speak either, to be fair.
I was explaining, right, his own logic, and then I was also reiterating part of what you were talking about with wars and how you were trying to say that these operations weren't qualified as wars, even though by his own logic, his own terms, it most certainly were wars. And even he himself called Israel and Iran a 12-day war.
What is exactly your assertion here? Can you distill it to maybe one sentence instead of just kind of rambling?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you incapable of keeping up because you don't know how not to interrupt somebody?
I don't think that you really made a coherent point there.
Oh, okay. I think everybody else understood. It was just you that didn't understand.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody else kept up just fine.
Just to be clear, you're not a fan of strikes on Iran because why?
Sir, because it was unnecessary. Donald Trump is supposed to be this amazing negotiator, right? He is the best at making deals. I make the best deals, says Donald Trump, right? But instead, in 2018, he pulled us out of the JCPOA, and in his last two years that he had left on his presidency, and then the last 2 years that he had left on his presidency, instead of trying to make a new deal with Iran, he left the office without having ever replaced the deal. And then by the next year, in 2019, was the first time that the IAEA ever measured Iran to be over the deal, over the percentage of enrichment of uranium, over the agreed percentage in the JCPOA that he pulled us out of. And then he's complaining about them potentially having nuclear weapons, which they did not, because he pulled us out of a deal and then didn't rewrite one or make a new one in whole 2 fucking years. So yeah, I truly do not. Is your name Adi?
I can see that.
Is your name Adi?
No.
It's not? Okay. Well, I'm going to help you out with something. Again, I can't fix you or help you understand the words that I'm saying. Everybody else understood it except for you.
Have a part in this discussion. You just seem kind of like just talking over me.
Well, I'm sorry. I guess maybe it would be useful to have a discussion if you could have ever managed to keep up. If I don't know if you realize this, but if you had managed to keep up, you could have actually called this a conversation. But you aren't able to keep up with it.
What?
You've already proven that you weren't able to keep up with it.
It's not that I wasn't keeping up. I was saying that you didn't make.
No, you literally said that I was rambling, which you just admitted that you weren't able to keep up with it. So bye-bye. You literally didn't understand it. Thank you, Red, for the galaxy. And you proved it. You admitted that you couldn't keep up. That's a you problem, not a me problem. Sorry, you didn't like me utilizing Donald Trump's logic against whatever you were trying to say. right? Saying that we have some kind of Iraq syndrome, that we think that any time an operation occurs, we're going to be in this long form war, or this forever war, as he called it, acknowledging that operations are required for wars to occur. So, thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Hi, are you there?
Yes,
Awesome. How old are you?
25.
25. Are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay. And what specifically has Donald Trump done in his 12 months in office that has earned your continued support?
Honestly, I'm a big fan of the whole ICE situation.
ICE. Oh, wow. So you're a big fan that to date, ICE has shot 7 people
Well, I didn't say
just
I'm
in the
a
year
fan of,
20. Well, 3 people just in the last 48 hours. That's fucking insane. But also 4 people last year. Also fucking
yeah.
insane. So
hmm
you're actually happy that ICE is shooting unarmed individuals?
Well, I didn't say specifically I'm happy that violent situations have arose and ICE has killed people because of it. I
Uh-huh.
never said that. But I'm a fan of kicking illegal immigrants out, and there has to be use of force to do that, yes.
There has to be use of force to do that. Please tell me where it explicitly states anywhere on DHS, IC, or CBP.gov that force is required to deport individuals. And also, can you give me any instances that occurred under the last 3 administrations during deportation efforts where people were killed by ICE?
Well, I mean, that last question doesn't really have to do with this
It
at the moment. You asked
it
about Trump. I don't
doesn't?
know what the last administration
Oh, it
has to do with
doesn't.
this.
Well, I'm so sorry. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but we still like to say that Obama deported the most immigrants and everything
He
like
did.
that, right? Yeah, right. He deported more than Trump, and then even Biden deported more than Trump in his 4 years in office than Trump did in his first 4 years in office. So when I'm
hmm
asking you, like, you're saying that you are in support of ICE, and if they have to use force to do it, then so be it. So I'm asking you, when have we seen instances of violent force in the way that we are seeing it currently, and the last 12 months of ICE operations, where 7 people have been shot by ICE officers during their operations? And let me explain why, because if use of force was so necessary, for so be it, then we would have seen this trend long before Donald Trump was ever president.
Hold on 1 second here. Sorry. Well, I think the idea that, you know, there's this weird like thing with Obama, like there's no violence under Obama and everything, and like maybe there wasn't on the side of like ICE deportations and the immigration policy. Maybe you're right on that. Um, but more civilians were killed in other countries under the Obama administration than almost
Oh,
any
sorry, this
other
isn't a
administration.
measuring contest when it comes to like where people were killed, right? Because even then, we can look at the drone strikes that Donald Trump performed under his first 4 years, and we know that he
Not even
almost.
comparable.
Oh, it most assuredly is. He almost doubled.
Absolutely, it's not.
Let me explain, because you're not
Oh,
listening.
also, just so you know,
Donald
from
Trump
2010 to
almost.
2012.
Hi, I'm literally in the middle of talking. Great, thank
Okay,
you.
go ahead.
Donald Trump almost doubled the amount of drone strikes in his short 4 years than Obama did in his 4 years. It is absolutely comparable.
Okay, well, I'll give you an exact quote from the National Immigration Justice Center.
Yeah.
Between 2010 and 2012, there was 17 death cases during deportations where ICE had to use lethal force. I mean, so in a year and a half or 2 years, what you're saying, there's 7 people killed. I mean, we're beating that.
Oh, yeah, 3 in 24 hours. So yeah. Let's see. And I
Well, what's
didn't
your
doubt
point?
that
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 wasn't.
existed. See, I think what you
I
don't
thought it wasn't a
understand.
measuring contest.
No, sir. Again, I said I didn't doubt that it existed. And guess what? ICE was sued as a result.
What's your point? there's still more people
Let's
died.
see. These deaths were due to substandard medical care, neglect, and violations of agency standards. Oh, not that they were killed in the line of duty.
Okay, well that's not what I
I'm
read.
talking
Maybe I'm
about
mistaken
ICE
about
shooting
that.
people. Which part did you not understand?
No, I just said maybe I misunderstood what I read. That's all I was saying. I'm admitting that I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but I mean,
again,
like,
Obama was
I just
sued
think this
multiple
idea that
times by the ACLU because of how immigrants were treated.
okay, so what's your standard then? Because you're saying that this
Use
sucks,
of force,
now
to
you're
this
saying
degree, deadly force is
hold
not
on,
necessary.
Can I
You asked me
ask
what
a
my
question?
standard was. I'm giving it
I
to
wasn't
you.
finished asking the
You
question.
asked me what my standard was. I'm giving it to you. Use of deadly
You have a
force.
really bad habit of interrupting.
Would you like to start your
Just
own
let me
live
ask my
stream and
question.
cry about it? Anyway,
Well, no, just let
use
me ask
of
my
deadly
question.
force is not acceptable when it is also not warranted in the situation, as per the Department of Justice own standards when it comes to use of force.
Incorrect. Do you know what the grand factors are?
Grand factors, please tell me.
Yeah, so grand factors are a situational, I guess, like standard where it says a reasonable officer on site, well, hold on, let me restart here. Fumbling over my words. Essentially, it's saying that a reasonable officer will evaluate themselves in the shoes of an officer on site, and that will be how these are determined, whether it's a good use of force or if not. And if you watch that video, I know what you're talking about, this lady or whatever that got shot in the face. She literally hits an officer with her car.
No, she doesn't.
They told her.
You're
Yes, she
literally
does.
watching one video where that is possible, and that's not what it was. Like that's how I know. You
It
guys
was.
only
That's what
watch.
happened.
Did you only watch? Just out of curiosity, did you only watch Trump's video? Is that what it was? Because I'm happy to like
No,
play
I
a
haven't
whole
even seen
video
that one.
for you. Yeah, so I'm gonna help you out with something here. This is the Department of Justice policy on use of force, where they specifically mention vehicles. You don't get to shoot somebody. This is their policy, simply because they are utilizing a vehicle. You know what the steps are if somebody has a vehicle and it's coming towards you as you are the officer? You
Well,
move
he
the
was up
fuck
against
out
the
of the
car. It
way.
wasn't
You
a mile
don't
away and
shoot.
running at him.
You move the fuck out of the way and you don't shoot. So
Which he tried to do and
which
still got
angle?
hit.
No, he moved out of the way successfully. Like he beyond
No, he
moved
didn't.
out of the
It hit
way.
him.
His final two shots were absolutely 100% unnecessary. He leaned over the car in order to make his very first shot, and you can tell by the angle of the shot that he was already out of the way of the vehicle. I guarantee you only watched one
How do you know
singular
that?
angle, because I guarantee you've only watched one singular angle of the video.
Now, how do you know the angle of the shot? Has there been an autopsy report that came out that you've
Sir,
read? I mean, like, what are you
have
talking
you
about?
looked at the fucking picture of the windshield?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. So
Multiple
again,
officer shots.
what angle did you watch the video from? Like, which video angle
You want
did
me
you
to give
watch?
you a degree?
Which
what do you?
video angle did you watch? Do you
I've seen
what
like
part are
4.
you not understand? Oh, you've seen 4. So okay. So let's see. You won't be able to hear this, so you're just gonna have to wait a moment. But let's see messages. We'll just go directly to this one.
Why don't you put it on the stream so everybody can see it?
Oh, I'm going to Pookie Pie.
Okay, that's a weird. Well, why would you call me that? That's odd.
Oh, does it hurt your fifis?
Does it hurt my feces?
Yep, I did not stutter.
There's something wrong with you, lady.
On Wednesday, in Minneapolis, a federal agent fatally shot a motorist, 37-year-old
Go to the stream,
Renee
Pookie Pie.
Nicole Good.
Yep, I'm
Trump
watching.
administration officials said these were, quote, defensive shots, fired because the officer was being run over.
And a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over.
But our analysis of
Have you
bystander
also
footage
seen the other
Shushies.
different vehicles?
appears to
Shushies.
show the agent was
Well, I
not in
can-
the
I
path
can
of the
talk and
victim's
also
SUV
see,
when he
you know,
fired
that.
3 shots at close range. Here's how events unfolded. Moments before the shooting, the victim's maroon SUV is stopped in the middle of the street. Multiple unmarked federal vehicles are idling nearby. Secretary Noem alleged the motorist, quote, was blocking the officers in. Bystanders are blowing whistles and yelling at federal agents.
Go home to Texas!
Then, federal vehicles start moving toward the maroon SUV, with sirens and lights blaring. A federal agent films the scene on his phone. The driver rolls forward slightly, turning left, then stops and waves for others to go ahead. Two agents exit this silver pickup and walk toward the vehicle. Moments later, shots are fired. Let's look at the scene again more closely. This is the agent who shoots the driver. He walks around the car filming and disappears from view. Other agents pull up and order the driver to exit her vehicle. One of them grabs at the door handle and reaches inside. The SUV reverses, then turns right, apparently attempting to leave. At the same time, the agent filming crosses toward the left of the vehicle and grabs his gun. He opens fire on the motorist and continues shooting as she drives past. The moment the agent fires, he is standing here, to the left of the SUV, and the wheels are pointing to the right, away from the agent. This appears to conflict with allegations that the SUV was ramming or about to ram the officer. President Trump and others said the federal agent was hit by the SUV, often pointing to another video filmed from a different angle. And it's true that at this moment in this grainy low-resolution footage, it does look like the agent is being struck by the SUV. But when we synchronize it with the first clip, we can see the agent is not being run over. In fact, his feet are positioned away from the SUV. The SUV crashes.
Did you sit in timeout like a good little boy?
I don't know. I don't really understand why you have to like add ad hominem attacks to this conversation. We just disagree, and that's okay. We can just talk.
Oh, maybe because you were incapable of just sitting back and listening for 10 seconds. You seem to have the attention span of a goldfish. That's a you problem, not a me problem.
I think I've talked a total of 15 to 20 seconds this whole time, and to listen to you ramble about
Oh,
random
sure.
bullshit, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, just because you don't have the attention span. I understand.
No, I've heard everything you said.
I'm
I even
sure.
said I may be incorrect about some things. You've actually changed
Yeah.
my mind on one thing.
That's good to know. Yeah. So now how
So
are you
what's your
going
point?
to justify that? Because you see it like, I like the side-by-side analysis. By the way, almost every singular news station has done a side-by-side analysis, so has independent media, and they all show the same thing. The only one that shows anything different is going to be the New York Post, Newsmax, and Fox News, because they love reiterating whatever Donald Trump says.
Yeah,
fact
no, I mean,
is
I
that-
still think that it was legally done.
It
honestly.
wasn't.
I mean, like,
Can you tell me
disagree.
what authority does ICE have over United States citizens?
what the fuck kind of question is that?
What
They're
authority?
law enforcement.
No, they're not. They are
Oh,
federal
okay.
agents, right? They are not technically law enforcement. What
Are they
authority?
enforcing immigration law?
Yeah, so exactly, immigration law.
So that's law
Thank you.
enforcement.
Thank you. What is ICE's authority over United States citizens?
The federal laws that they are in
The
place to
federal
enforce.
laws, fantastic. So just even the fact that her car was in the road, right, would be an obstruction within the road, which is a state infraction, not a violation of federal law. That one ICE officer that went up and pulled on her door handle and then reached his hand in her car to try to force it open from the inside had zero rights to do that.
Do you know why he did that?
No, because they're not speaking to us.
Yeah, well, that's not true, actually. A statement came out. They had actually made contact with her before that because they
Oh,
were
they
arresting
did.
somebody else.
Yeah, where's
There
the
was
video
obstruction.
for that?
Can I finish? I'm making a point. You keep interrupting me. that she was obstructing what they were doing, screaming, yelling, causing a problem, causing a scene out in the middle of the road. They went to go talk to her. She
Interesting.
ran.
Mm-hmm.
They went to go talk to her again.
Is that
Told her
why
to
the
stop.
witnesses
She didn't
don't
stop.
believe that? Because even then, like there's video from before where she was waving all
Mhm.
the cars to go on in front of her, and the video that I had up, it goes further into that, but it's a long video. It's a 5-minute long video, and I didn't want to play the whole 5 minutes. You're welcome to go and look for it yourself. But even the video from before, because bystanders were filming the entire time, right?
Mhm.
The video
Then where are
does
those
not
videos?
corroborate that story. The fact is just she
Where are
was
the
waving
bystander
them
videos?
on the entire time, even as she was filming everything that was occurring. 2 vehicles drove away in front of her, right? Including the guy that got out of his car. He also had to move the SUV over in front of her vehicle and park the way that he did, effectively blocking her from leaving in any kind of capacity, in a normal capacity when driving a car, instead of doing like a hairpin turn or having to navigate around his SUV, the one that shot her after, he pulled over and then parked right next to her and got out of his car to start filming her vehicle and then let his buddies come up from the other side. Again, there was no proof that anything that she did was in direct violation of federal law, which you have also agreed with. That's the only authority ICE has over, and obstructing the road is a state infraction, not federal, and they have zero
didn't
authority.
agree to that.
They have zero authority. Oh, you did absolutely agree to the fact that ICE officers can only enforce federal law. You absolutely already
I said
agreed
federal
to
law,
that.
Correct. I
Yeah,
didn't-
okay,
federal
fantastic.
law doesn't mean
That's
that
all
only
I
illegal immigrants
ended.
is what
That's
they can
all I
enforce on.
ended on that one. I didn't say that you agreed with me on the rest of it, okay? So the rest of it, though, is that because they only have the authority to enforce federal law, they cannot enforce state or local laws, and obstructing the road is a state infraction.
I still don't understand what your point is here. You're
Oh,
sitting
I
here
mean, you
saying
said
that-
you like ICE, you support what
can I
they're
make a
doing, and it's
point
okay
without
if
you
they're able to
interrupting
just
me?
kill
Can I
somebody,
make a point without
apparently.
you interrupting me, please? Jesus, just let me get my point out, then respond. That's how conversations work. Has nobody ever taught you that? Anyways, what I was trying to say, oh my God, are you 12 years old? Like, actually, like, just shut up for 2 seconds, let me talk, and then we
Okay,
can continue
goldfish.
like adults.
Okay, goldfish.
Goldfish. Yeah, that makes sense. You're an actual crazy person. This is why you don't understand anything I'm saying.
Okay, goldfish.
Anyways, my point was, if they're obstructing federal law being enforced, then they absolutely have the right to intervene. That's how that works. And if she's doing that and they go try to talk to her and she runs, then she's fleeing from law enforcement.
Oh,
after
sir, it's
committing
not
obstruction.
illegal to flee from ICE as a United States citizen,
That's
sir.
incorrect. That is
Oh, yeah,
absolutely
show me
that is
show me the
just
US
insane.
code.
Why don't you show
What
me the
title
US
is it
code
under?
that says that it is okay and that it is legal?
Sir, if it
You're the
wasn't,
one
if
making the
it,
claim.
sorry, I don't know if you realize this, but if it wasn't against the law, it wouldn't be written into law, right? It would be the opposite. So if it was illegal to flee from ICE as a United States citizen, that would be written into the law. You're literally asking me to prove a negative. How about you prove a positive?
Honestly, at this point, like, I don't even think you're willing to listen to anything that I'm saying. You're just trying to.
I
ad
would
hominem
listen to it if you
attack.
find the law.
Okay. All right. What do you want me to find exactly? What will satiate this?
I said, what is the U.S. code that says it's not that it says it is illegal for a United States citizen to walk away or flee, as you like to say, from ICE officers?
Okay, right here. 18 USC 1503. Fleeing with obstruction of justice. It says targeting flight from federal checkpoints, agents or / agents, making it a crime to hinder federal
Oh, sorry,
investigation
I'm not
related
finding
conduct.
any results for the word citizens.
Okay, I literally just read it.
I also
just
have the
read it.
code up here, and it's not citizens. So I asked for citizens. I absolutely would agree with you that
Well, who the
immigrants,
fuck else would they be making it for?
immigrants definitely can flee. I'm talking about United States citizens.
Okay, so if you're
What are you not
obstructing justice
understanding?
and at that point you're committing
Let's see. Whoever
a crime.
corruptly or by threats or force or by threatening letter or communication endeavors to influence, intimidate, or impede any grand or petite juror or officer or of any court of the United States. Sorry, this is, you said 18 U.S. Code 1503?
Yeah, that's what it says
You
right here.
literally don't know anything. This is about juries.
It says obstruction. Oh, hold on.
Yeah. Maybe
Oh,
that's why
1509.
nothing's
Is
in
it
there.
15
It's about
15
jurors.
1509 is obstruction of federal
Ah, there we go. 1509. Let's try that one. Huh.
Anyways,
Whoever
but
by
either
threats
way, it
or
doesn't
force
matter, because
willfully prevents,
my point
obstructs,
stands
impedes, or
that you can't
interferes
look.
with, or willfully attempts to
Hold
prevent,
on.
obstruct, impede, or interfere with with the due exercise of rights or the performance of duties under any order, judgment, or decree of a court of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year or both. Interesting. Wow. It's not
What's your
saying
point?
that it's a crime to walk away or flee
Oh
from
my God.
ICE.
You're right. It just says you'll be fined or go to prison. It doesn't say it's a crime. My fucking bad. What the fuck are you even
Yeah.
saying
It
right
also
now?
talks about an order, judgment, or decree of a United States court. So that would be a warrant, sir. Did they have a warrant
No,
for
it
her when
doesn't.
they
That,
tugged
oh
on
my
her?
God.
Do you not know
Are
what
you a
an
lawyer?
order, judgment,
Are
or
you a lawyer?
decree is?
Are you a lawyer?
I'm not, but I certainly know more than
Because
you.
that's not what
Do
that
you not
says.
know what an
That's not
order,
what that
judgment,
says.
or decree is?
It's saying fleeing from an order,
It
judgment, or
doesn't say
decree as
flee.
well.
Doesn't say
Okay, I know,
flee.
but that's
Doesn't say
how the
it
nomenclature.
it
Oh
says
my God.
prevents,
Okay.
instructs, impedes, or interferes with. It doesn't say,
I
like,
mean,
I
you're
asked
just
specifically about
honestly
you
sucker
fleeing
what we
from
listen
ICE.
to.
Maybe you should get off
You had
AI
fucking
and like
Trump
actually
derangement
read your
syndrome.
shit.
You won't listen to
Actually,
anything
right
anybody
now,
says.
you actually have Trump devotion syndrome.
No, I actually didn't.
You
I
have
don't
Trump
like Trump.
devotion syndrome.
I like the
You can't
immigration
admit
stuff.
that
That's
you're
about it.
wrong when it comes to the fact that you can't even get the right U.S. code that says it's
I just
illegal
showed you it,
for
and
a
you're
United
just
States
saying your
citizen
interpretation
to
is God.
flee or leave the presence of an ICE officer. That's not what this
Oh my
says.
God. Okay. Why don't you look up
And
the
even
code for
then, like, this is
obstruction
at
and
the
see?
conviction
Why
level. They
don't?
would have had to prove it in court. And
Can you
even then,
stop
her only
interrupting?
thing would have been a
Can you stop
fine or
interrupting?
no more
Can you
than 1
stop
year in
interrupting?
prison. Can you tell
Can
me
you
where
stop
the use of
interrupting?
deadly force is
Can
in
you
here?
stop interrupting, please? Just
No,
please
because
stop
you can you
interrupting me when
admit
I'm
that you're
talking.
wrong?
I will get to the point
Can
here
you
in a
admit that
second if
you're
you will just
wrong
stop
about
interrupting me.
this? Can you
Okay,
admit
sure.
that you're
You know
wrong?
what? For the sake of you being a child, I'll grant it. Say
Oh,
I'm
see,
wrong.
that's not
Now
a
look up.
concession.
Now
So
look
Pookie
up.
Pie, bye-bye. What do you mean he's going to cry later, D? He was whining right there. He needed some cheese for that.
You're awesome.
Men, are you okay? Oh, wait, I already know that answer. In that case, he was not. Sorry, guys. I know you guys. Bad dad joke. If a conspiracy theory is debunked in the woods, is there a MAGA there to ignore it? Call or look up SSG Bobby Henline, then tell me how NATO enlister shut up. Thank you for the 10. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's not what the law says. Yes, Trump devotion syndrome, guys. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there? Okay. You sound like you're 5 miles away from your phone, but you said you hate Trump, so have a great night. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
You're awesome.
Hello?
Hi, how old are you?
Who is this?
Yeah, you don't need to be an attorney to be able to define words. Good God, that's true.
You're awesome.
Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, Donald Trump supporter right here.
Awesome. How old are you?
40 years old.
Never had one, so that's a silly statement. All right, and you say you still support Donald Trump. So let's
Yes,
try.
I do. And I support ICE. You cannot sit there and throw at another caller. Does ICE have a warrant to arrest somebody? Because
What's the
that's
Fourth
not what
Amendment
they
of
do.
the United States of America?
We already know you know what the damn Fourth Amendment is.
I'm asking
You
you
said
what the
earlier-
Fourth Amendment is. Do you know what the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution is?
Look here. I
Is that a
understand you might
no?
have some blood going in your deal.
Gotcha.
I know
You
what the
don't
Fourth
know.
Amendment-
Thank you. You don't need a warrant to do anything with the United States citizen. Brusky, they do. I'll tell you what. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes,
Awesome. How old are you?
I am 40.
Awesome. And are you still supporting Donald Trump?
No, I was just calling in after I heard the last caller.
They're all sorts of wacky.
It's crazy. They don't understand basic law. They just fall behind the obstruction stuff. It's
Yeah.
always obstruction.
It's not, because cars were able to get in front of her. Many cars went in front of her, including the ICE officer who shot her.
Right.
So, not
Full
exactly
blind
obstruction,
spot.
is it?
I know. You don't ID
Or
them.
impeding.
It's obstruction. It's always interfering. It's always obstruction.
Yeah.
They just run around lawlessly. They lack training. They have, 47 days spent in training now?
Oh, I'm unsure how long they're in training, but they definitely don't go through BLET.
Yeah, they were the new ICE agents have an average of 47 days of training because Trump's trying to get them on the streets.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Well, man,
Yep.
I appreciate you calling in, and I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday.
Hey, keep on with the fight, you as well.
Thank you.
Love your content.
Appreciate
day.
it.
Bye.
Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there? Hello. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hello?
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Hell yeah.
Mm. And what specifically has Donald Trump done in his 12 months back in office to earn your continued support?
He's just a bad motherfucker, I'll tell you what.
All right. Well, you're not a real person. Have a good one. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Hi, how old are you?
Hello? 29.
29. Are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Yes.
And what specifically has Donald Trump done in his first 12 months back in office that has earned your continued support?
He's actually, a few of my family members have gotten a part of the, it seems like they've gotten a start in the CHIPS Act for some of the jobs from various companies like Hyundai and TSMC.
Oh, sorry. That would be a thank you, Joe Biden, because Donald Trump is actively trying to get Congress to repeal the Chips and Science Act.
More specifically, though, I did want to talk about the ICE situations, and the comments that were brought up were interesting. And yeah, those are extreme reactions. But for the vast majority, what's disappointing me is this uphill battle against getting people to pay taxes to be in our country. The frustrating part for me is what I hear a lot about is the wish-washing of conservatives or Republicans or /Trump supporters don't like foreigners. And there are those ignorant people still for sure, but a vast majority just don't like the undocumented immigration. I mean, to put it in basic terms, right? Imagine if your house had a leaky hot water heater, and instead of, saying, oh, I got to get that situation fixed, you just had a bunch of random people over, open house parties, started posting pictures on Snapchat, and the hot water heater's blown to the roof, but then you're just saying, hey, come on over to my place, we're just having fun here, regardless of what happens the next 10 to 15 years. It doesn't make sense regardless of anything. So I wanted to get your input on why there's so much pushback on these ICE agents. There's a few bad apples for sure, but for the vast majority, we can't sustain 25, 30 million undocumented individuals. I don't care if they're Mexican or Canadian or Asian. It doesn't matter. It's not sustainable. I'd like to hear your thoughts on
that. For one, that's not the best analogy, but sure. I'm going to help you out with something. For one, we don't have that many undocumented immigrants, even by Department of Homeland Security estimates. Even by Department of Homeland Security estimates.
Look at this over here. That's a screwdriver. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just got distracted. You were saying it wasn't a good analogy or something like that?
We don't have 25 million undocumented immigrants within the United States of America, even according to Homeland Security estimates published
You're
April
awesome.
2024. We had at most 11.6 by independent study estimates like the Pew Research Center. It's right now maybe 14 million
This is
before Donald
amazing.
Trump's deportation efforts.
Wow. So 14 million. Let's see. I've lived
Far
in
less than the
currently.
25 million that you try to purport.
Okay. I mean, fine. I'll tell you what. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's say I was off by a factor of 4. So let's say it's 5 million. That's like
You're not off by
that's
a
an
factor
entire
of
state.
4. You're off by 11 million.
Well, okay, thank you for your correction. So, but regardless, the point that I'm making is, let's say that it's even 5 million people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of uncertain situations, and it's just not. There's a few bad apples in ice for sure, but this whole reaction of we can't support them or there's outright attacks. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of the immature attacks that were happening with, like Tesla, for instance. People just firebombing dealerships because of a CEO's decision. Well,
Yeah,
people need money.
to be clear, I don't condone political violence, but I also just want to like help you out with something. So the 11.6 million that I was originally saying, as reported by Department of Homeland Security, 79% of them have been within the country since 2010 or earlier. It was a 40-year study.
You're awesome.
I mean, yeah, and that is pretty cool. I wish that, for instance, hey, maybe you produce back taxes and here's some things that I bought legitimately.
Do you think
Here you
that they
go.
don't pay taxes?
Besides sales tax, but usually not income tax.
Actually,
no, you're right. You're right.
What's
You're
an
right, because I did
ITIN
see-
number?
I did see something shocking that the IRS can take payments from undocumented immigrants, which I find that to be another problem. But yeah, I did see
What's
that
an
maybe a couple months
ITIN
ago.
number?
It's like a form for immigration to fill out where you can pay, I guess, I'm assuming, income tax.
Yeah, it
I didn't read
literally
into it,
stands
but it's a
for
logical
individual
conclusion.
taxpayer identification number. It also can be used to build credit as well. So undocumented immigrants, unauthorized immigrants, whichever term you want to use. Unauthorized would be the correct legal term in this case over undocumented. But they are able to build their credit while also paying taxes. That's literally what an
Interesting.
ITIN is for. And even when they file their taxes, they don't get refunds. There's a reason why Donald Trump and his administration asked the IRS to turn over their records in order for, ICE and DHS to peruse through them to try to locate undocumented immigrants,
awesome.
because even they have acknowledged at this point that they do, in fact, pay taxes into the system. The Penn Wharton budget model estimates that the illegal unauthorized immigrants paid $24 billion into Social
That made more
Security
sense.
in 20
Yeah, 24 billion.
yeah, $24
$20
billion
million.
dollars. Yeah, 20
America snorts that on fucking salt.
Oof, that's heavy. But yeah, no, they estimate that they paid $24 billion in Social Security benefits alone into the system in just 2024.
I guess to answer the early ultimate question, the theme of your show is that what has Trump done to earn my support? Right off the bat, even if you discount everything that has happened or whatever, discount it completely, the Venezuelan thing. Some of these countries are starting to get out of control. And unfortunately, America sometimes has to wield a big stick. I think that was a premise or a theme of FDR days during, I'm losing my mind here, World War I, World War II. Obviously, you can see I don't have a high mark in history, but something along the lines, at some point, the United States had to wield a big stick because all these countries were getting a little too crazy with beliefs. And that sounds a little like first world and, we're smarter than other people. It used to be true. I mean, there's a lot of smart people left in America, but there is a dumbing down attempt in society. A lot of people are younger people I see, like younger than my group, using AI to communicate because we've created such a dynamic environment of just weirdness. And so, to not get off too far off track, yeah, Trump has pushed an America First agenda, and there's some stuff that I don't like, but the all-in-all picture of we're not electing a tea-time friend. We're electing someone to say, hey, we need to chill out. We all have stuff to make for each other. Let's make it. And look at Venezuela. They're putting up signs and stuff. Now, there could be some fake stuff generated by AI, but some of it is legitimate. There are people in Venezuela flipping out, going, holy shit, there might be a Chase Bank and a Starbucks next to me in the next 5 years, and I can buy stuff in the free market. Or it could be Trump's view on less tax. I mean, he's bonded with, what's his name out here, Ron DeSantis, lowering income tax. Why are we taxing people to
Donald
smithereens
Trump
and
does
everything?
not like Ron DeSantis.
Yeah,
Also,
maybe not as like,
Florida has no state income tax. They
right.
haven't
So
for a
the
long time, so that claim is
the
weird.
partnering scene, yeah, maybe they're not strip club buddies or whatever, but for instance, the combined business and mindset of let's not tax people on property tax and income tax, because guess what, you and me still need to do stuff. We're still going to buy stuff on the free market. What if we had more money to decide what businesses succeed better? The government getting involved, that's the core underlying that I think most conservatives and Republicans hold on to or should hold on to, that the government usually is not the best decider in things. Now, you flip to the extreme, not you meaning you, but the comment of that Hillary Clinton made, in 2008, you didn't do this, the government did, implying that the roads are important and the industries for employees to wash themselves at home. Yes, but for the most part, the home user, the private individual, spends their money much more efficiently than the government. Think about this. I'll let you interject in a moment because I've been rambling here. The IRS, I recently learned this a few years ago. If there's a nuclear strike, this comes from the Cold War days, the first thing that gets help isn't people with food and water emergency shelters or who survived or getting food somehow going to people again. It's how can we get the IRS back online? How can we tax the shit out of, in other words, we've just been hit with a holocaust of nuclear strikes. Let's say our defense dome that's around North America unofficially, somehow something gets through, hits us. There's no farmland left. There's no toys. There's no industry. There's no movies. There's no smiling. There's no grass. There's no homes. Nothing's left. But son of a bitch, the IRS is back online. And guess what? Let's say one of those big old bad missiles hits Georgia. Don't worry. The IRS, I believe, has 4 or 8 fucking backup plans, pardon the French, backup plans to keep getting online. And after all that stuff, sorry, we're still out of money. We got to raise taxes. That's a good part of I like Trump's economic points. He says some arrogant stuff sometimes, but we're not, like I said earlier, we're not electing tea time. We're electing someone to, it looks like, wield a big stick. That hasn't gotten done in a while, and it needs to happen. And I'm not even saying it happened with George Bush. So that's part of the reason that I like Trump. What are your thoughts?
That was a Gish Gallop if I've ever heard one. Yeah, so if you want the IRS to make sure that they're actually collecting money as they're supposed to be collecting it, I hate to break it to you that it's been estimated by the CBO that the IRS is going to probably be fine that there's $400 billion to be uncollectible over the next couple tax seasons because of the HR1. And I think it actually may be million with an M and not a B. It's been a moment since I looked at it, but the IRS has been lessened in their capacity to go after people that owe in back taxes due to the one big beautiful bill. So if that's actually what you want to see happen, oh, that's a cute one. Thank you, Red. The big beautiful bill, Donald Trump's staple policy, rolled that back, right? He's cutting employment from federal agencies, which is absolutely necessary, including the IRS. The Republican Party is refusing to acknowledge that immigrants actually pay taxes past their local sales tax. Yet Donald Trump is going to the IRS in order to ask them for documentation that shows, to find them, to locate them. As far as your other point, sir, you said a lot. I will absolutely
absolutely.
say, that Maduro did not belong to stay in power over Venezuela. While he was elected, it was considered to be a fake election, or at least a falsified election in their country. However, their system still declared him the winner. I don't think it's a good look on the United States of America, and it sets a negative standard on the world stage for other countries to utilize it as a similar excuse. For example, if Russia really decided they were over it with Donald Trump, what's stopping them from swooping in and taking Donald Trump and saying that, you know what, because Donald Trump didn't win the majority vote, right, based on the percentage, 50.2% of the voting population in the United States voted against him, then voted for him, and they claim that it's a sham election and they steal him from the United States of America. We should just accept that on the world stage, as the United States is expecting everyone else in the world to accept us taking and capturing Maduro. Similarly enough, it also sets up an avenue for China to further their agenda with Taiwan. And it's just not doesn't set a good precedent for it on the world stage.
Oh,
However,
absolutely, yeah.
Maduro doesn't belong in power. I absolutely agree with that. The person that belongs in power is the opposition leader, Machado. Unfortunately, Donald Trump said that she ain't it. I guess because he's upset she accepted the Nobel Peace Prize that he thinks was supposed to be his. Said that she's a weak-willed person, even though our United States soldiers helped get her out of Venezuela to get her to Norway so she could accept the peace plan in person. But she's weak-willed.
Interesting.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I mean-
You didn't know that our people went in there to help get her out?
Well, no, I knew about the Venezuela stuff, but I didn't follow all the beginning parts. And what I was just going to say is, believe me, as much as I love Trump and stuff here, saying that I fully and blindly trust the government is. COVID taught me that. That was the first thing that I went through as a full adult, where it's like, the government, whatever. But my point being is that blindly trusting the government, right? Like if COVID was good for you, the COVID vaccine was good for you and
Don't go down
free.
C19 talk. I will have to disconnect you because unfortunately TikTok does not like it. So.
All right.
I just full stop.
That's
Sorry.
fine.
TikTok doesn't like it,
It
and I'm on
starts a
TikTok.
potential delve into inefficiency for sure. I heard. I forgot what I was going to say initially, but yeah, I mean, no, I blindly trust you should never I'll summarize my point less aggressively. You should never blindly trust anything. Verify yourself, trust but verify. I mean, we've seen shady stuff in the government. Look at the polio blankets from the very beginning. Here, are you cold? You want some polio blanket? That's the government. So believe me, I know. Besides the COVID stuff, yeah, there's always some weird stuff, but I think what Trump wielding, he's not going to do everything right, but the whole wielding the big stick thing apparently needs to happen. There's countries that are loving this. There's yeah, it sounds arrogant, but there's people from other countries seem to be loving this. They were like, "Oh my God, there's first world infrastructure coming in, and I can
loving it." I'm sorry,
trade."
I actually do want to know what other countries are loving it, because I don't know about you, but I actually watched the UN delegation where everyone spoke out against what America did in Venezuela.
The UN, I'm just not a huge fan of.
Doesn't matter if you're a huge fan of it. 193 countries are represented at the United Nations, and everyone that attended spoke out against it. Do you not understand?
A better deal for us.
Broker a better. That doesn't matter. You just said other
Everyone's
countries
paying their
are.
fair share.
Sorry, let me repeat what
We
you
may
said.
not have to pay
You just
I'm sorry.
said this. You literally said every other country, like other countries are loving what we did there, except again, at a convention of 193 countries, every country that sent a representative spoke out negatively against the United States, except for the United States representative, because, he's beholden to Donald Trump. And as far as infrastructure, we already know, like, as we see within the United States, it takes about 6 to 10 years to build up infrastructure, build new infrastructure from the ground up, and we're going to see that same thing displayed within Venezuela. And because Venezuela has already failed to pay oil companies for the leftover property from when they pulled an eminent domain right claim on their oil fields, right? Which even by international law, they have every right to do, but they do have to pay for the equipment that was left. They haven't even paid them what they were owed as determined by a court for the previous infrastructure. Oil companies have already come out and spoke out that they're hesitant to go back into Venezuela without the United States government paying for the infrastructure to be built there.
Those are some very good points, and this will sound ignorant, but nonetheless, I'm still going to say it. Unfortunately, America does some we don't do everything right all the time, but last time I checked, we spend a lot of debt money dropping off goods and resources to the rest of the planet, making sure everything doesn't fall apart. Disease, vaccinations, doctors, times, medicines, video calls, and as technology gets cheaper, it's going to make all that stuff cheaper. The good news at the end of the day, here's what I think. I used to panic too, a lot like you, but eventually I saw innovation changes everything. We're going to innovate a way out of this. I mean, look at the reactor problems. AI is just being discovered, and I think here's what will happen. It'll get more efficient, and also you got to look up on your spare time something called mini reactors. We have nuclear reactors, 300 megawatt reactors that have the footprint area of like a semi-truck cab. So that's 300 megawatts. I mean, that's enough for like a large town of people. Like that would be a plenty of people in like a town of Florida with all the manufacturing and industries and stuff. So innovation will solve everything. All these complaints are very in the moment, and most of this stuff will just relax. I mean, it already has to an extent. There's still ignorant people and running around and being, crazy, but for the most part, everyone's relaxed and everyone just wants to try everyone else's culture's food, right? I mean, it's just, there's still annoying people out there, but everything will calm down eventually is the good news. We're going through an economic change right now. That's why there's a lot of extremism. We're going through like labor, the definition of labor is changing. We no longer have to work for things to be on the shelf. That is coming to afoot, and it'll lead to talks of socialism and guaranteed income, but it might be different, it might not. We just have to wait and see, and it's uncomfortable during this moment in time, probably the next 5 years. And then it'll be old news. The same way that people freaked out the first time there wasn't a person on it. I mean, I don't remember this, but I read stories of it.
I don't think my dog likes you anymore. I'm sorry. She doesn't seem to like the holy app that's occurring.
Well, it's good that no one's eating your dog, though. That's very good.
I'm sorry, what?
I said it's good that no one's eating your dog.
No one's eating animals in the United States of America. That can be proven, my guy. What is this? This has been disproven for so long. So long. Yeah.
Hold on.
All right.
Let's say I'm running around. I'm really running from law. You're saying that it's...
This guy's like, he was just trying to jump over to a whole other subject right there. Holy moly, that was weird. Wait, are you saying if I run from the law? We were just talking about the eating. What? This is for all those that like to scream in the chat, let them talk. This is what happens when I let people ramble. Yeah, she's a beautiful Australian Shepherd. She's a gorgeous and a very, very friendly dog. She just has a very loud bark. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah.
Awesome. How old are you?
44.
Are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay. What specifically has Donald Trump done in his first year back in office that has earned your continued support?
He's brought 4 years of apologies that Biden did, and he brought America back to being a strong country around the world.
I'm waiting for specific details.
details. If you look around America itself, he secured the borders. You mentioned yourself 11.7 million illegal immigrants. The Democrats themselves, matter
Oh,
if they
sorry.
all.
What did I say about 11.6 million? Can you repeat what I said? Hope preferably verbatim, but if you can get as close as possible, I will accept a summary.
I believe you said that over the last several years, the Department of Homeland Security reported 11.7 million
Over
illegal
what time
immigrants
frame and
crossing.
how many percentages came in before what year?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know exactly
yeah,
what
you're
you
leaving
said,
out a lot.
but
You're leaving out a lot.
but
It's
but
so it was a
but
report that was issued. I'm gonna let you
okay.
explain it to you real quick. It was a report that was issued by the Department of Homeland Security, April 2024, right? And it
Right.
was 11.6 million unauthorized immigrants over the last 40 years. 79% of that 11.6 million entered in before 2010. So they had been here for 30 years.
So I have a question for
It went
you
all the way
then.
back to the 1980s.
So I have a question for you then. Obama, he supposedly was called the
I'm still
deporter in
waiting for you
chief.
to explain more about why you're supporting Donald Trump. I'm just correcting you on the 11.6
Oh yeah,
million.
no, I don't think like I would have to review that because Obama was called the deporter in chief because he deported the
Yeah.
most illegal immigrants in the history of the United States. So it doesn't.
Yeah, he got us
I
down
would
to
just
9 million, and then more people came in under Trump.
well, Trump has secured the borders, and I think that was a lot of
Oh,
the reason why
yeah, I'm so sorry.
you
Like, who was the president between Obama and Biden that you're not understanding?
Trump 16 to 20. Yes, when he started building his
16
wall.
to 20?
Yes, that's when he was the
16 to
president.
20.
He won in 16, whatever. So 17 to 21, whatever.
Thank
He
you.
won it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no
Sorry.
problem.
There is a reason to be specific here because otherwise, holy for fuck's sake, that brings up very interesting conversations. Thank you for making me blow bubbles.
No problem. Yes. So my point is, you know this. I mean, if you're, it sounds like you're intelligent. That he won the election based on the, border control was one of the biggest ones. Economy was the other one.
Incorrect. The biggest one was the economy. Border Patrol was
Well,
number 3.
I mean, yeah. So you could. That's your. That whatever. I
This is
voted
according
for
to
Trump.
exit polling. Yeah, I know. Everybody that happens to call me just happened to vote it for the border.
Well,
Exit
'cause you're.
polling shows that it's because
Yeah.
of the economy. Even the economy's not doing great.
So yeah, I mean the bottom line is that he's a law and order president trying to protect citizens.
Donald Trump is a law and order president.
President that's trying to protect citizens, correct?
I'm
And
so sorry. Is it law and order to pardon 1,600 individuals that were tried, had their day in court? Some of them pled guilty, and some of them, were found guilty and convicted by a jury of their peers. Is that a president of law and order? How about in fact not even knowing who he pardoned? Are you familiar with the guy that started ByteDance? Or not ByteDance, sorry. One of the Bitcoins. I can't remember the name of it offhand. His name is Z.
No, I'm not familiar.
Oh, yeah. He pled guilty for a plea bargain to knowingly have not the right securities in place to make sure that money laundering wasn't occurring for the money that was being traded in his cryptocurrency going to terrorist organizations like Hamas, Hezbollah, the Taliban, all of these ones, right? He pled guilty. And then Donald Trump pardoned him after he'd only served like 60 days in prison. And when he was asked why he pardoned him, like somebody that literally pled guilty to helping money laundering schemes to fund terrorist organizations, these terrorist organizations that everybody hates, Donald Trump was like, wait, hold on, check this out. I don't even know who he is.
Right.
He's literally pardoned people that have pled guilty to their crimes before they could serve a day in prison. How is that supporting law and order?
Well, first of all, there's, law and order in reference to, day-to-day crimes on the street, from gang violence. And,
Oh, now this is called shifting the goalpost.
Well, no, not really. First of all, the
It is.
1600.
It is.
First of all, you
The
mentioned
1600,
pardon.
where we have instances of at least 100 of them after they've committed, like they received their
Excuse me,
pardons,
one second.
committed
The
committed additional crimes.
The majority of those pardons were from January 6th, which was a whole, political.
No, that is
kangaroo
all of
court.
them. That is all of
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
That is all of
exactly.
them.
So don't,
All
so don't
1,600
tell,
are those people that pled guilty or were found convicted in court.
don't-
People that
it's not
literally,
fair
the guy
to
that
use
literally
that.
put a taser up to one of the Capitol police officers' neck, tased him multiple times after he was beaten with a pole. Right, and then died later in the hospital because he had strokes and had heart attacks.
The idea
Yeah,
that not
yeah, and then
no,
and
one
then
second.
then after
One
he
second.
was
Not
pardoned,
one- how
after
many
he was
people were
pardoned,
arrested
after
that was
he
part of
was pardoned,
BLM?
after
many-
he was pardoned, he went on to
Okay.
commit additional crimes.
I agree.
And he's
I'm
now
saying,
looking to Donald Trump for another pardon for his
No.
state crimes that he committed after he pardoned. So the state crimes, he
Listen.
committed a year after being out.
Listen, it's any protester that gets arrested, okay, they get a slap on the wrist. They don't get tortured the way these Jan 6 people were arrested, and it was done blindly. They were just thrown away in the dungeon, the worst conditions.
And
Oh.
January 6ers got the absolute worst conditions. Can you show me
Yeah.
anything that shows that they were that we violated their
Where?
Eighth Amendment
Are you-
rights?
yeah,
Can you
yeah,
show
want
me
to
where they
show
were
it to you?
kept in the absolute worst conditions? Like, I want a news fact article. I want a PolitiFact article. I want a factcheck.org article about this. Show me
Yeah, I mean, I
investigative
think we could
journalists
I
where
would-
the
I would
January
recommend you-
6 protesters were kept in inhumane conditions. Please,
I
for
recommend-
the love of
yeah.
all that is holy, show me where they were kept
Okay.
in inhumane conditions on PolitiFact, factcheck.org. Please show me. Where is it?
Do your
Where
do
is
your
it?
research. But
Oh,
but
no,
I
no,
just
no,
asked
no,
you
no, 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 no,
one
no, no, no,
second.
no, no, no. This is your claim. Show me
It is my
where,
claim.
by investigative journalists, they were kept in inhumane conditions. Please, please show me.
Okay.
And then also show me where people were charged with violating their Eighth Amendment rights for the inhumane treatment that they received. Please, please show me all of this. I want a case
I will-
number for people being charged with violating Eighth Amendment rights of an individual, or even just their Fifth Amendment rights, their Sixth Amendment rights for a right to a speedy trial. Please show me where the Department of Justice has charged, indicted, and convicted somebody for violating January 6ers' Fifth, Sixth, or Eighth Amendment rights. Please, for the love of all
Check
that
it
is
out.
holy.
I mean, I urge you to
No,
to,
no,
to
no,
do
no,
your
no,
own
no.
research.
This is your claim. Go
I mean,
find it.
that-
You're on a
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm
supercomputer
saying
right now in your hand. Go find
Okay.
it. Go.
It says,
Go.
yeah,
Go.
it says the following.
Yeah, where is it
Googled
from?
Jan
Where is it
6
from?
Conditions.
Where is it from?
Jan 6 conditions.
Where
of
is it
prison.
from?
That-
Cite your source. Do you know how to cite your source? I'm going to help you out with this. So when you cite your source, you're going to give the title of it, and then you're going to, where's it coming from? What's the title of your source?
This is, I just Googled it. So.
Oh, no, I'm not accepting your AI overview. Do you know how to use AI? There's a little paperclip icon. I assume you know what a paperclip looks like.
Yeah, I
Please
know what
click
that
that.
is,
And then please tell me it's Reddit.
Okay, yeah, but listen. I'd rather not go. I believe that I'm happy to do that, but for your listeners and for this conversation, I do think it's
You
important
can't
to
find
make
it, can you?
No.
You can't
I'm not,
find it,
it's hard
can
to-
you?
It's hard to do that.
Oh,
in
you
real
can't
time.
find it. Oh, what a surprise.
Okay, so
You can't
do
find
you have-
it. You can't
do you have
find
evidence?
it. Oh, this is hilarious. I love it. Oh, before you
I'm
even
happy to
try to
make
say
you
this,
laugh.
I'm going to help you out with something. I can't prove a negative. See, you made a positive claim. I'm asking you to prove your positive claim. You don't then get
Okay,
to say, can you prove me wrong? No, sir. You have to prove yourself right. Because that would be me proving you wrong, the fact that you can't find it.
Yeah, I see NPR.org. I don't know if they're reliable.
And what is the title?
January 6th defendants awaiting trial are forming. Here, where is it? January 6th detainees say a DC jail is so awful that they'd like to transfer it to Guantanamo. That's what the title is. October 7, 2022. Jan 6 detainees say a DC jail is so awful that they'd like a transfer to Guantanamo. It sounds pretty bad. It's signed by 34 defendants. It was submitted as part of the response to the government for its denial of alleged capital Ryan.
But see, I asked for investigative journalism. Do you know what investigative journalism is?
You're asking me on
listen.
the
I can write a
So read
letter.
the article.
I don't know if you
I'm
realize
saying,
this. I can write a letter and submit it to the Department of Justice saying that I want them to declare that the sky is purple. Doesn't make it true.
You asked me to give you a source. I gave you a source.
I asked you
and
for
now-
investigative journalism. Do you know what investigative
me for what the
journalism is?
paperclip
I
source
was very specific on what I told you because I knew something like this was going to come up, right? I was very specific. I said investigative journalism that shows that they were living in inhumane conditions, and I even gave you two sources that do investigative journalism, PolitiFact or factcheck.org, where they would have gone on and observed the
PolitiFact
conditions
is-
that they
is
were
a very,
claiming.
left-leaning.
No, they're not. You can go to Media Bias Fact Check all fucking day long, and they're going to be center left, so just slightly left leaning bias, but they are not left leaning, sir. They are not so far left. Anyways, investigative journalism. Investigative journalism, because again, I can also write a letter to the Department of Justice asking them to declare that the sky is purple. Doesn't make it true.
Okay.
Yeah. So where is investigative journalism?
But these are letters from the detainees.
Investigative journalism.
That does count for something.
Investigative journalism.
Okay, so the U.S. Marshal Service Inspection 2021, that was from the statement by the U.S. Marshal Service. You could look that up.
You didn't finish citing your source, so come on, keep going forward.
U.S. Marshal Service.gov of November 1, 2021, statement by the U.S. Marshal Service, recent inspection of D.C. jail facilities.
Let's see. There we go. U.S. Marshal is responsible for care and custody of their detainees. Da, da, da. The U.S. Marshal's inspection of Central Treatment Facility did not identify conditions that would necessitate the transfer of inmates from that facility at this time. Wow. Did you read it?
Yeah, I mean, not fully.
Wow.
But it did mention systematic failures.
Yeah, did you
DC
read
Central
it?
Detention. Yeah, what during this? 30
Sorry, I don't
seconds
know
of
if you
talking to
realize
you,
this. I love this.
Did you
didn't read
a
it.
sentence?
I actually, so I have this up and I'm trying
Punitive
to type
deprivation, evidence of guards punitively
failures. Nope,
withholding
nothing
food
in
and water
there.
from punitive deprivation,
Water's not in
sanitary
there.
violation.
Heat.
Read the whole thing.
Yep, sanitary.
toilets
Oh,
clogged
that's not
with
in
human
there. Toilet.
Staff misconduct.
Toilet's not listed in there. Literally, I have it up and none of this is in here. You didn't read it. This is why AI overview is not reliable.
Here.
I literally have it on my screen and I am typing words in that you are saying, and it's resulting in 0 out of 0 results.
Yeah, so that's the basis of it.
That you don't know anything. Thank you for proving yourself wrong. Can we get a round of applause for the gentleman for proving himself wrong with his own sources that he did not read?
A previous,
He did not read.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did.
yeah,
I
you
admitted
didn't
that I
read.
didn't read it. But
Yeah.
during the 30
The
seconds
U.
that
I'm
you're
gonna.
asking
I'm
me
gonna.
to
Let,
provide
let's
you.
see. We're gonna highlight this again. All right. We're gonna zoom this all the way in. We're
Well,
just
I'm
gonna
happy that
make this
I'm.
nice and big for everybody. Oh, wow. The U.S. Marshals inspection of Central Treatment Facility did not identify conditions that would necessitate the transfer of inmates from that facility at this time. And it even specifically mentions in the next sentence about the fact that they are the members of the January 6th Capitol riot, right? Were the detainees in that facility. Wow. You did a great fucking job making your own point. We need a good big round of applause for caller here. He proved his claim
I
oh
appreciate
so
that.
well. This
So-
was awesome. This was the best fact checking someone has ever done of their own claim. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Would you
the
like to
bio-
concede that you just don't know anything about this?
No. I
No?
mean, unfortunately,
Okay.
you know,
That was fucking great. Listen, I'm not like, holy shit. I don't, what do we not understand? I love it when I ask for a source and it proves them wrong. Their own source that they provide me proves them wrong. Thank you so much for that. That was fucking awesome. That was awesome. That was so fantastic. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. If the early tetrapods heard these callers, they'd stay in the fucking water and realize it isn't worth this shit, right? Dear caller, how is a yeah, that was for the other one. You gone. Yeah. I agree, Sean. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry, Caspa, that you were witnessing what happened in Minneapolis, because I know what that was about. Teresa, thank you for your donation twice with nothing in there. I do appreciate that anyway. I like reading what you guys say, though. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, how old are you?
32.
32. Are you still supporting Donald Trump?
I am.
Awesome. What specifically has Donald Trump done in his 12 months back in office that has earned your continued support?
Well, he just recently captured a $50 million bounty criminal.
Oh, yeah. Guess he saved us
That was
money,
pretty
huh?
big. He sure did. That
Yeah,
was
the
big. That was
bounty
big.
that he's the one that raised it himself. So
Right, he didn't start it though, but yeah, he did raise it. Of
no,
course
he also
raised
started
yeah.
it. He also started it. It was started
Okay.
by him under his first term. Increased basically in the last couple weeks of Biden's term in office, literally January 2025. So right before he left office, he increased it to 25 million. And then Donald Trump said, 25 million's not enough. Let's bump that up by double.
Right.
Like
Do you know
in
why he did
November.
that? Do you know why he did that?
Please inform me. Why did he do that? Why did he increase it from 25 to 50?
So that maybe somebody would capture him and turn him in.
Oh,
He wouldn't
okay.
have to do it himself.
Yeah.
And nobody else did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Listen,
Are you
I
against the
agree.
capture?
I agree that
Yeah.
Maduro absolutely does not deserve to be the president of Venezuela. He was not duly elected. We know that. The person that should be in office right now is certainly not Vice President Delcy. Sorry, now President
No, yeah,
Delcy, right? It should be Maduro. But Donald Trump said it not once, but twice that Maduro isn't competent enough to be their president, even though she's the one that won the election. Isn't that funny? Not Maduro, sorry,
Right.
Machado.
I mean, yeah, we don't control their elections though. We were after him.
Oh, but
because he was
even Donald
indicted.
Trump acknowledged that the opposition leader, Machado, won the election and that she should
Right,
be the
and
rightful president. But then
right, in
after we went and
Venezuela, right.
captured Maduro, he is perfectly okay with Delcy, and even specifically said when asked by reporters twice, right? Twice he said that she wasn't strong enough to be the leader of Venezuela.
Okay, so is it your
So-
position then that he should send more troops over there to capture the whole regime.
I didn't say
to
that.
capture all
I'm
of
just explaining
Right,
to you
all
that
right,
he's
so
a
what you're
hypocrite.
suggesting-
That's all.
No, we went for Maduro not because he was president, but because he was indicted. I'm asking
No,
you.
the indictment came afterward. Like he's been like, I'm sorry, did we
No,
go
he's been
after
indicted
did we
since
go after
2020.
the president of Honduras when he was indicted in 2015?
I'm not sure about that. That's,
Yeah, we
I'm
didn't.
unsure.
We didn't have him in the United States for like 5 years, my guy. That's because
Okay.
that's not how it works. We don't just go into countries to capture them. We waited for him to get out of office. His country captured him and then extradited him to the United States of America. When again the indictment occurred in 2015, we waited 5 years to get an extradition.
Okay.
Because that's
I'm asking-
actually how this
All right.
system is supposed
But
to
you-
work.
Right. But you're mad that Trump isn't.
Who said I was
putting-
mad? I just said that it should
Well,
have
I
been
don't-
done
you
correctly. And I was
disagree.
actually just, again, I was pointing out his hypocrisy. Do
Right,
you
but
understand what that means?
What do you? Yeah. What part of what he did is where's the hypocrisy? Point it
I
out.
already
Point out the
explained it
hypocrisy.
to you. Can you reiterate anything that I said about Machado?
We're talking about Maduro here. You
In Machado,
are
I
mad
also
that we-
mentioned her many times in order to point out the hypocrisy with Maduro,
Yes, but we didn't
Machado
go over
by
there.
Trump.
We didn't go get Maduro to change and put a new president in.
They absolutely said this was a regime change. Were you not listening to
No,
anything that they
they've
said?
been saying for years that we're not going for a regime change. That the
Oh
goal
yeah,
is not a
we're not
regime
going
change.
for a regime
That's
change.
what
They're
they've
just
been
waiting for the
saying.
regime to change.
They've been saying
Yeah.
for years.
No,
every
they
time-
literally
every
did a
time-
regime change and then called it a regime change and then said that we were going to be occupying them.
Every time. Oh, are we occupying them?
No, not currently, but Donald Trump's like,
Exactly.
well, I'm not writing off us having to send our military in for a second
Right.
wave to
And
get the
Trump
vice
says a lot of
president.
things.
Donald Trump
Trump
says
says a
this.
lot of
Wow.
Trump says
Do
a
you
lot
not
of things, but
believe
what
what
is
your
he doing?
president
We're
says?
looking-
Do you not
we're
believe what
looking
your
at what he's
president
doing.
says? Do you not
I
believe
give
what your
him-
president says?
Are you just gonna
Do
keep
you not
repeating
believe
yourself?
what Donald Trump says?
Yes, I
Do-
believe everything he says. Now, let me break it
wait.
down to
So
you.
then,
But
wait.
if
So
he
when
was-
Donald Trump says that he has no problem sending in a second wave to make sure that the regime actually changes over, you don't believe him or you do believe him?
I give Trump the benefit of not showing all of his cards because you don't.
No,
tell your
that's not the
enemies-
question
you
that
don't
I
tell
asked you.
your
This is
enemies-
actually,
I don't
I don't
care
know
what
if you
your
realize this.
question
This is a
I didn't-
binary question. You already
Right,
said,
and
you
you
said,
wanna
you
set
said,
up
you
your
said,
question.
you
You wanna set up
said,
your
you said, you said, you said,
said-
you
and
said,
you said,
1,
and you
2,
said,
3,
and
eyes
you
on
said.
me.
Who cares?
1, 2, 3,
Who
eyes on
cares?
me. Hi,
How old are
Pookie.
you?
Probably
we started
older
with
than
my
you.
age. Yes. All right. We started with my age. How
Yeah,
old
I
are
don't
you?
remember it, to be honest. Because
You don't remember your age? Or
No, I
my
don't remember
age?
your age because
I'm
you
32.
said over 18, so I don't really care. But I just want to repeat something back to you real quick. You literally just said that you believe everything that Donald Trump says. And now when I remind you that Donald Trump absolutely
because you
did
asked a
say,
binary
holy
question.
fuck,
You
because
asked
you
a
don't,
binary question. That's not how it works.
and you couldn't say no?
Because you want.
Were you
No, I'm
incapable
not
of
gonna-
saying
no?
no?
Because that's the answer you're looking for. That's the answer you're looking for.
Oh, got you. So you're just a contrarian.
Well, hold on. Let's go back.
You're
because
just a
the original-
contrarian? You're just a
No, I-
contrarian?
No, I've been listening to you.
You're
for
just
like
a
the past-
contrarian?
Okay, fine. Yes, whatever.
Yeah, sounds
so we
like
can
it.
move past-
Broski, nah. Anyone supporting ICE actions is a terrorist and accessory to the fact, and also should not be doing those things. Don't do unlawful things and expect to get away with shit. Okay, thank you guys for all of the jewels. I do appreciate that. And again, Sean, thank you for sending out that gifted membership earlier. Sorry I didn't get it. Why is it all redacted? I wish I knew. Thank you, Engage, for that. I'll have to look up what ARS is. And thank you again, Rodney, for the 50 for the Hail Satan. Sorry it took me a while. I just love doing that because it makes so many people mad. Bye, Phantom, and bye, Potato over there. Yes, Feisty, thank you so much for the 20 just to say MAGA moron. I agree. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, it's the same person.
Okay. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there? Hello.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No problem. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
You just don't want
Do
to
you
debate
just have a
then?
shame kink? Is that why you keep calling
No,
back?
I wanted to talk about
Did
the
you
ICE
expect me
thing.
not to hang up on you again?
What?
Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. How
Hello?
old are you?
I'm sorry?
Hi. How old are you?
Hi. I'm 38.
38. And are you still
Yes.
supporting Donald Trump?
I wouldn't be calling otherwise, but yes.
Plenty of people do. All right. And what specifically has Donald Trump done in his year back in office to earn your continued support?
Primarily his action on immigration.
Okay. Like what? Can you be specific?
Sure. The border security, I think, is the primary reason I still support
Which
Trump.
border?
Although I don't support, I'm sorry,
Which border?
the U.S.-Mexico border.
Okay. And how is it secure?
Well, I think the rebuilding of the wall, or the continued rebuilding of the wall, I think also implementing, Marines and Coast Guard at the border as
Hey,
well.
actually, the wall, can I just real quick, and I'm not trying to be rude here, but
Sure.
I just want to ask you a question.
Sure. Go for it.
Do you know who Greg Abbott is?
The Texas governor. Sure.
The governor of
Obvious.
Texas. And what was his stated reason in, I believe it was 2023, for why Texas stopped building the wall?
That's a great question. I'm sure you have the answer. Would you like to enlighten me?
He said that the wall is ineffective and
In
that
what way?
having people on the border is more effective than a wall.
And I think having any and all systems is effective,
Yeah,
including
the reason
personnel,
why
having a
he
wall,
said it was
having drones,
ineffective
having
is because we have videos of
cameras.
a 6-year-old girl that was capable of scaling the wall in less than 30 seconds and then getting back onto the other side, like literally going over and then going like ba-doo, right? The other reason why we know it's also ineffective is because Kristi Noem, when she was like, "Look, guys, we're painting the wall black." Do you know what side of the wall Kristi Noem instructed ICE officers and CBP officers to paint the wall black?
Well, if it's Kristi Noem, I imagine it's our side.
It
I'm
was
not a big
our
fan of
side. I
her.
guess we're just keeping American citizens in now instead of, I guess we're the ones
Hey,
climbing over the
Mexico
wall
has
to
some
get
nice
into
beaches.
Mexico, apparently. But yeah, no, it's important to note that the governor, with the largest amount of real estate touching up against Mexico, says that it's ineffective for a wall to occur, which is also part of the reason why a previous administration was pushing for smart wall technology. Which was basically like drones to monitor the actual southern border and things like that. That kind of deal with Mexico instead of actually funding putting up a physical structure.
Well, I do agree with him deploying the Texas National Guard to the border. I do feel
Yeah,
like
that's
having
fine.
people on there is a huge deterrent.
Oh, for
But
sure.
now that it's a federal operation, we're seeing, I believe the Marine Corps have been stationed at the base, and I believe Operation Riverwall, which is the U.S. Coast Guard operation on the Rio Grande, is also there. This is all on DHS website. It's all public information. So there is, obviously some effectiveness to having operations there.
Oh
Not
yeah,
just
no,
for human
again, that's
smuggling,
exactly
human
what
smuggling, but
that's what
also,
Greg Abbott
drug.
said is that having people there is way more
Great,
effective than having a
great,
wall
and that's
there,
it.
which is why
And that's what
Texas
they're doing,
stopped
which
doing
is
that.
great.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
not
funny enough, I
disagreeing
just
with
watched
that
the
at all.
video. Well, funny enough, I just watched a video of drones carrying large white packages, which are presumably are drugs being knocked down by, I guess, I don't know what the technology is specifically called, but basically they're taking down drones that the drug cartels are now trying to use to smuggle drugs. So they are implementing some technological advances on the border as well, which is good. I think that it's, obviously it's a huge border. It's not an easy thing to do. But if we cut down on human smuggling, if we have human smuggling, human trafficking, sex traffickers, coyotes, anybody who's essentially trying to use it to make money, and we know from
the cartel side of it, they were making billions of dollars smuggling drugs and people across the border.
Yeah.
So cutting
Question.
off their source of income is essential to effectively taking them down. So I see that as a
Question.
win-win.
Question.
Of course.
Do you think that, thank you. Do you think that just because we put more people on the southern border, do you think that that's stopping cartels from engaging in human trafficking? Or are we just stopping individuals that are coming across the border seeking help from reporting that they were being human trafficked?
I don't understand your question. I mean, on one side, we have obviously the cartels who are trying to, you know, bring people across the border because they're paying the cartels to bring them across the border, or across whatever body of water, from the Bahamas, from Mexico, wherever. But also, I think that if people are trying to claim asylum, the best point to do it as a U.S. embassy or U.S. consulate or port of entry. There's many ways
Actually, you literally can't.
claim
I don't know.
asylum.
You can't claim it at a U.S. embassy. You can't claim it at an embassy or at a consulate. You have literally the very first words within 8 U.S. Code 1158 is you have to be on United States soil, on our sovereign soil. Not in the jurisdiction of the United States, because that's what an embassy would be, but on United States sovereign soil in order to claim asylum. So that point right there is inherently wrong. Let me try
Okay,
to
fair enough.
reiterate
Fair
my
enough.
question, because maybe you didn't understand it. This is an important question.
Okay. Yes, please reiterate.
Do you think that just placing United States DHS members, DOD members on the southern southwest border stops human trafficking from occurring by cartels?
100% across the board, that would be impossible to do. They have ways and methods that obviously we're not aware
Correct.
of,
So then your
and they're
other point that you
developing.
made is invalid automatically, because you said that
Well, they're
it's
it's a
stopping them from
deterrent.
human trafficking. It's not a deterrent. They're going to do it regardless. They'll just human traffic them in other ways, like maybe put them in the sex trade in order to make their money. Like the idea that somehow human trafficking is ending or is being depleted as a result of them being placed on the border is completely infactual and cannot be proven, because they're still going to do it regardless. As they like to say, criminals are going to break the law no matter what, right? That's what everybody likes to say.
I agree. I agree with you. It's not
Yeah.
gonna stop it
Criminal's gonna
100%.
criminal.
That's
What it just
exactly,
does is
and
it
I think that
reduces
that's.
people feeling safe to report the fact that they were victims of human trafficking.
I mean, we don't. I'm confused. So if you're saying that there are some people who can't get to the U.S. because of the border wall, I mean, what
I
percentage
didn't
of
say
people
that.
are trying to?
Not what
Well,
I
what
said.
percentage of people? Okay, well, you're saying that people who are coming across the border are seeking asylum, correct?
I didn't
Or
say
they're
anything
trying to
about
get
them
help from the
seeking
cartel.
asylum.
Well, they're trying to obviously gain protection from the cartels or report that there's cartel
Not
activity,
anything that I was
correct?
saying. I'm sorry. Do you think that in order to claim asylum, you have to report illegal activity? Or do you think that reporting
Well, it's
illegal
fair
activity
prosecution.
is synonymous with claiming asylum?
No, I give you that you can't claim asylum at a U.S. embassy, but you can claim it at a port of entry. So if you do
Yes, you
go to a
can
port
claim
of
it at a port
entry,
of entry once you have
okay,
foot on
all right,
American
great.
soil. I don't know, I'm not sure what you are trying to argue right now. I haven't made a point. I'm asking questions to find out your stance, and it's like you're arguing against yourself right now.
No, I'm saying that they're trying to stop in the most obvious way. Now, if the borders,
They're
I mean,
not, because we already
listen,
have proof that the
because
Department of Homeland Security defunded their human trafficking investigation
okay,
operations.
may I finish what I was going to say? Thank you. What I'm trying to say is if they are putting up blocks for these cartels to bring people over or drugs to bring over, that's just one. Obviously, they're going to try and find other methods. And then we're going to figure out how those methods are being used. And then we're going to try and stop those as well.
Oh, is
I
that why the
think,
Department of Homeland Security defunded their human trafficking investigation operations?
well, I wasn't aware of that. I don't agree with that. I
Yeah, they
definitely don't
did.
agree with
We've
that. If
also
anything,
had
they should
fewer
increase it.
we've also had fewer human trafficking charges or indictments brought up, because as we already know, indictments can be placed on individuals within the United States of America without them being present in the United States of America under this current term. And even under his last term, we actually saw a decrease in indictments being conducted by the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and all of the other three-letter agencies.
No, and I agree with you on that point. I definitely agree with you. But having people on the border, especially at points of entry where a lot of the drugs come through, a lot of humans come through. I mean, listen, I'm going to give some credit to the cartels and that they have smart people who are figuring this out. But the more that we try and counter it, the more that they're going to have to figure it out. So it's essentially a game of cat and mouse. And as long as we're one step ahead or trying to be one step ahead, we're protecting people within this country, but we're also stopping the importation of human people who are being trafficked or smuggled or drugs.
Yeah,
which
just
are,
in the
can
United
be,
States, make it
anything
not our
from.
problem. I get it. That's all it is.
I'm sorry. I'm
Sorry,
sorry. What was
we're
that?
just making human trafficking not the United States problem. That's all it is.
Well, human trafficking is a worldwide problem.
Yeah,
It's been
but the
going on
United
since
States
the
is
beginning of
saying that we're
time.
washing our hands of it because it's not stopping human trafficking from occurring.
Well, listen, to
In
stop
fact, at
human
this point,
trafficking,
we've probably killed people.
to.
The United States has probably actively killed people that were being human trafficked in the moment with their boat strikes on Venezuela, on the boats that were supposedly coming from Venezuela.
Well, that is a distinct possibility. I mean, on one hand, we can definitely look at the
Sorry, do
intel,
you
which
need
we
11
won't be
people
able
on a
to.
boat to traffic drugs?
That is a great question. I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with the cartel's operation. We don't know who.
Oh, no,
I mean,
sorry. We
listen,
do
do
actually.
we know
The
who is
Coast
on those?
Guard does
Do we know
actually
who?
know some of this, right? No, we don't know who they were. But see, when they're trafficking drugs on a boat, they have as few people as possible because A, less people are going to potentially be using that drug. Also, they want more room for the drugs on the boat so they can get more in one go in case they're captured, right? Less people are picked up, they use as few
Well,
people as
we just don't know who is
possible.
on the boat. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
the informants on the
Uh-huh.
ground who are reporting that intel do,
Uh-huh.
but we as the public do not know one way or another who is
Sure.
on those boats. They might know, but we sure as hell don't. So
Uh-huh.
I think that's fair to say that
Yeah, that's
they
why it's
could
always
be
been
they could
the
be
United States
smuggled.
Coast Guard policy to interdict boats that they assume are conducting criminal offenses going towards the United States. And that's why we shouldn't be shooting at random boats and killing people in the middle of the ocean. Because are you aware that when the United States Coast Guard interdicts people, do you know what percentage of them are actually found to be trafficking drugs?
Well, I'm sure it's a very small number.
Yeah, they're wrong 75% of the time.
Well, let me ask you this question. What's the difference from us droning a terrorist in the Middle East, that's at a wedding with 200 people
Oh, sir, I don't
versus
approve of
a,
drone strikes. I don't know what you're trying to get out of this
well,
conversation.
I mean, this is what it's been going on for
Oh, okay.
20
Well,
years. I
so
didn't
let me
agree with
help
it
you out
then. I
here.
don't agree
So
with it now.
you trying to make a comparison to a drone strike to blowing up ships isn't going to work with me. I don't approve of drone strikes. I am against them from the start. So to me, they're about the same. Does that help?
I'm sorry? What was that?
Oh my gosh.
Hello? I'm sorry? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, and listen, I agree with you. There needs to be due process. And I do think that in a situation where people are suspected, listen, we have the video, just intercept, get those drugs, arrest the people, be done with it. The one thing that makes this situation very much different, maybe it's because they're carrying mass amounts of fentanyl, which has been known to poison hundreds of thousands
Does
and
fentanyl
kill
come from
Americans.
Venezuela?
No, it usually comes from China, but they smuggle it
Does
in
it come
through
from
various.
Venezuela? Do you know what percentage
No,
of fentanyl
it
in the
doesn't.
world comes from Venezuela?
Probably very low. No, it comes from China, but
No,
they
no, that
somehow or
is
another
like,
get it to Latin
sorry.
America. No, I don't know. I don't
China
know.
sends out the ingredients for it to be processed, and then it's all put together and compiled in multiple countries.
Which
Venezuela
countries?
being less than 1%, Mexico being the majority, right? Venezuela is not a source or a significant source in any capacity of fentanyl. You should
Okay,
listen to
fair enough.
Marjorie Taylor Greene speak on it. It was actually really interesting to watch her talk about that specifically this week.
Very interesting and very enlightening. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I agree with just, blanket drone strikes on drug boats? No, not necessarily. I think we don't have all the facts, and nor will we ever get the facts.
Which is
Um,
why our policy is to interdict them and find out.
Great. Then we should go ahead and interdict them. My
Yeah,
first point was about the
cool.
southern border. If we want to talk about, drugs coming over the waters, that's a whole separate conversation. I do think that it definitely decentivizes cartels from bringing drugs over if they know they're just going to get blown up versus just arrested and jailed and eventually released.
No, what the
But I
cartels
do,
what they do, and we already know that they do this, right? Is they just kidnap people's families, put individuals, and like because they're holding them hostage, they then put that individual whose family they just kidnapped on the boats and then tell them to go. They don't do it themselves, sir, because if that person dies, they've lost nothing. They've lost a mule. They'll just put the next family member on a boat and make them do that. They're losing nothing. It's
do you
not a
have
deterrence to them. They just find another hostage.
do you have a source for that information? Because I'm curious, genuinely curious. Do we know that cartels are not just, putting on random people and saying, "Hey, go to the U.S. or we'll kill your family"? I mean, that's a pretty serious claim.
Wow. Yeah,
Okay.
actually, it's reported on by, let's see, we have Insight Crime, the Washington Post, where they talk about it. And, whew, yeah, some of it actually even from the FBI from 2016. Ooh, BBC, extortion and kidnap. Ooh.
Okay. Listen, hey, I didn't know. Part of my ignorance. No need to be condescending about it. But I do think it is interesting that the cartels, you know, albeit, they are terrorizing these people, so we can classify them as narco terrorists. You agree with that? They
No,
need to
because
be
it's not a
taken
real
out.
thing.
I mean, they're terrorizing people. How are they not terrorists?
Sorry, it's not a
I
real
think
thing.
you just said it. They're literally taking people's families and threatening them with death if they don't do what they're told.
Yeah.
That sounds
Narco
like some form
terrorism,
of
though, is not a real thing. What we're doing
I
right
mean,
now, I don't know if you
words
realize this,
are
like the
not a
claim that I'm making, and I'm gonna be very clear, we're not hurting cartel members. We are killing the hostages.
So do you think that we should just be going after cartel members instead? I
No,
mean,
you
I'm
should be
all
going
for
after
that.
the head of the snake.
Agreed. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, I
We're
mean,
not
well,
doing
that's what
that
they did with,
though.
well, isn't that what they did with Maduro? They took out the head of the snake.
Oh,
Guess
you
what
mean
happened?
the
They just put someone
slang
else in.
cartel? Like, are you aware, like, the cartel de los solos is a slang term in Venezuela? It's not a real, not a real cartel. They actually had to take that out of the indictment because they were, the United States Department of Justice realized they were wrong, and it's not a real cartel. It is a slang. It's
Talking about the
slang.
Cartel de los Celes. Oh, okay. Actually, I
Yeah.
did not see this.
It's
It
slang.
actually just
It's
came out
not a real
recently.
cartel. They took it out of the indictment.
Interesting. I did not know that. That is very, very
Yeah.
interesting.
And if we're talking
Um,
about heads of the snake, this is why Juan Hernandez, the former president of Honduras, should have never been pardoned by Donald J. Trump, who, by the way,
agreed.
guys,
Agreed.
yeah,
They should have
his
arrested them. They
his
should have thrown
Department
them in
of
jail.
Justice did that had a full 4 years of continuing the investigation that started under the previous administration.
Well, it looks like that, yeah, the U.S. Department of State needs to update their website because they still listed as a foreign terrorist organization.
Yeah, they
But
didn't
no, you're
include it
absolutely
in
right
the
on that point.
indictment though because it is just it's just a slang
Yeah,
term
I see that
in
in New York
Venezuela.
Times. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good catch. Well, thank you for informing me on that one.
Cool.
And I mean, if they want to proceed with their indictment with all the evidence that they have, they're more than welcome
They
to do
did
that.
proceed with it.
Um,
He had his first day in
look,
court where
I
he
mean,
pled not
the
guilty.
cat's already out of the bag. They can't just drop them back off, and say, "Whoops, we made a mistake."
So
They're
if
not
you
going to do
like
that.
the New York Times reporting, you should look up the fact that what they found when debris washed up on shore is not cocaine, not fentanyl, but instead that leafy green substance colloquially known as Mary Jane.
Which is hilarious considering the amount that we produce.
Yeah,
within
some of
the
it
US.
legally.
I
Colorado,
heard,
hear me out,
funny,
guys.
yeah, well, funny enough, I heard that they were starting to smuggle marijuana out of the U.S. to places like the Bahamas because the quality is so good here. I wonder what the Coast Guard is doing
Wouldn't
about that one.
surprise me at the same time, though. That is illegal.
Oh
Just
yeah,
like
of
you can't
course.
transport Mary Jane across state lines because it's still federally illegal.
Exactly, and which is why they tell you not to do that. But no, thank you for that. Thank you for informing me of that fact. I did not know that, and I appreciate
Awesome.
that. And anytime there's something that I can learn, I'm here for it. Like, there's nothing that I can say honestly where I don't. I'll admit if I don't know something. Fair enough. Back to my point about the southern border, I do think that obviously not only stopping drugs and human smuggling, human trafficking, but also just the amount of, I hate using this term, but catch and release. I was not a fan of that under Biden. I don't think we should do it now. I don't think that we should be able to just allow anybody to come into the U.S. after just taking their biometrics and putting them in a database and saying, all right, you can head
That
in.
was Trump.
Well, that's with everybody, but I
Nope.
don't agree with that.
The DNA being put into a database was a Trump era policy, and then it was discontinued by the Biden administration.
So the DNA, you're saying, not just biometrics.
Yeah, the DNA when it came to like testing to see if people were a part of the same family, specifically for
Oh,
the
yeah.
accusation of child trafficking.
Yeah, I mean listen, I do think that obviously, families who try to come over to the US together, that's a tough one because you can't just assume that everyone is related because of the color of their skin. It's a little bit racist, frankly. But I do think that we should confirm that they are family members, and not just someone who's just trafficking a bunch of kids and, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I'm their
believe they
dad.
should try to hold on to their paperwork, but there's no guarantee that they can keep their paperwork. DNA doesn't prove familial relations or that somebody is someone's child because of adoption, for example.
Well, I don't know how common adoption is in the second or third world. I mean, obviously in the first world, but I can tell you, like, I did a DNA test. Turns out, I have a bunch of cousins I didn't know about. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some familiar relation there. And you're right, adoption may be the case. In some cases, there have been, people stopped at, ports of entry into the U.S. where it's like two white parents and their adopted, black, child, and they're like, oh, this is clearly a case of human trafficking. It's like, no, that's their adopted kid. Like, chill out. So this has definitely happened. I can see where people like freak out. But at the end of the day, I do think that catch and release is not a good thing. I don't think that there's any way that we could just allow from 5,000 to 10,000 people into the country with very little vetting. But in any case, I'm glad that they're stopping that. And if someone is truly in danger of persecution for whatever reason, like, go to the port of entry, make your case, and as terrible as it may sound, asylum cases can take up to 5 years. It's absolutely insane because you have to show
Take
without a
longer.
reasonable doubt that if you return to your home country, you will be imprisoned or put to death. So that's a hard thing to do. So I do think that having the ability just to stop that is a good thing. And that's one of the reasons
So
why I continue to support Trump.
again, yeah, and sure, you can continue to support him for that. My issue with his deportation policies is that we are treating them inhumanely. And to be clear, having them at the border is not stopping drugs from being trafficked into the United States of America, right? It's not because citizens are doing it.
Yeah,
Just you know,
absolutely.
like
Yeah,
it's
certainly.
reported that the last one that I looked at, and I know that the percentage has actually increased, and this is all reported by the CBP, because that's their job coming across the border, is 83% of all drugs seized coming across the southwestern border is American citizens. It is not stopping human trafficking into the United States of America. We can't even say that it's decreasing the issue known as human trafficking in general because we have zero proof of that. Again, it just lowers the number of reports that they receive about someone being a victim of human trafficking. So, no, I don't agree with the way that we're doing things.
Okay.
So,
And hey, everyone is entitled to their opinion. I don't think
yeah.
that,
I mean, I
I
think
mean,
that
at
the
the,
inhumane treatment should be a deal breaker for people. I also think that the instance that occurred yesterday should
you talked about,
absolutely be a deal breaker for people when it comes to ICE.
I mean, yeah, we can unpack that separately, but just going
We
back to
would
what you're
have to
talking
do it
about,
another
inhumane.
time, but
Sure. I think back to your point about inhumane treatment. Are you talking about specifically undocumented migrants in detention centers?
yes, because even they are entitled to the protection of the Eighth Amendment of the United States Constitution.
Okay. And I mean, I would imagine that your sources are what exactly?
Investigative journalism conducted within Alligator Alcatraz.
Okay. Who specifically do you reference in that point?
Yeah. Sorry. So it's been done by the BBC. It's been reported by Axios. We also have it from Reuters. Like it's multiple sources. Do I know them offhand? No. But I do got to end because as my partner is reminding me, we got to order food because dinner is important. So.
All right. Well, listen, it was a pleasure talking to you, Ari. Thank you for the good
Yeah,
conversation.
not a problem, man.
Hey, keep doing what you're doing. Just keep an open line of conversation for people to exchange ideas and opinions. And I think this country will be a lot better for it. So thank you for what you do. And for everyone listening out there, praise Jesus. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Oh, somebody thinks they're cute saying my boyfriend is mad. Sorry, dudes, they do the same thing I do. Let me go through these last couple of super chats. Frag says, I've never been a Trump supporter, but my grandparents voted for him, and we're happy when he discharged trans people from the military, including myself. So yeah, that's horrible, and I'm sorry that happened to you. Thank you guys for all of the jewels. Sean, I don't care if Maduro is a magic dragon, a lie is a lie, WMD pie and cake cadet, bone spurs, ego is no reason for American troops, kids to get killed. That's true. How can I convince my elderly family to see reason? Unfortunately, Piper, that is very hard. You're just going to have to start asking them inquisitive questions, or if you want to continue to get along with them without having any arguments, you just don't talk politics. I don't really talk politics with my family, just on a general principle. Lee, thank you for the 5. Says, good job, Ari. I appreciate that. They don't ever care about the cross-human trafficking. Well, I'm sure actually he might have because he seemed like he was nice. So I'm sure he actually would have cared about American citizens being trafficked. Sun Tzu said, don't fight a multi-front war, ancient. Okay. Thank you, Sean, for that last 5. Well, guys, we are going to go ahead and end it for the night. I will see you guys back on live on Saturday. If you haven't already, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. And you guys have a good night. Join the Discord to find out the next time I go live.